And then when people change their mindset, right now, if I were to talk about one thing, it's all about how we see about ourselves. It's all about how we see ourselves. For example, South Korea was so poor, but now through this continuous training, now the way they see began to see things began to change. Yes. For example, um, there was the most famous inventor, and his name is called Thomas Edison. He's the one who invented the light bulbs. He's the one who invented the TV, telephone, electricity, and all of that. However, he was a genius of the genius in America, the most famous genius, even until today. However, when he first went to primary school in his first year, and 1 week later, he came back with a letter. Mommy, 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 teacher sent me back with this letter. And so mother just opened the letter and began to read the letter.
Yeah.
And then the letter said, Dear Mama Nancy, your son has a learning disability. And so because of him, the whole class curriculum is being delayed. So why don't you teach him homeschooling and don't send him to school anymore. The moment Mama Nancy read that letter, she broke out into tears. What? My son has a learning disability? And she cried and cried. And the next day on Sunday, she went to church early in the morning and she began to complain to God. God, why did you make my son with a learning disability? As she was praying, God spoke to her in her heart. Hey, Nancy, you see your son as a one with learning disability? Yes, God. Teacher sent me the letter saying that he has a learning disability. I don't think like that. I see your son as genius. What? My son is genius? That is nonsense. Okay. If you want to see your son as the one with learning disability, then that's how it's going to be. Okay, then God, if you see him as a genius, then I will also see him with the same sight and I'll see him as genius. On Monday, Thomas Edison came with a bag. Mommy, 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 take me to school. I want to go to school. Today's Monday. Hey, son, Thomas Edison, today you don't have to go to school. What? I want to go to school, mommy. No. Do you remember the letter that you brought to me? Yes. Do you know what the letter said? No. The letter said that you are genius. So you don't have to come to school anymore. You can just learn from home because you are genius. What? Is that what the teacher has said? Yes, that's what the teacher said. From that moment on, Thomas Edison saw himself as a genius. And then he really did become a genius. Then how did we get to know this story?
Yeah.
Later on, Mama Nancy became old. She passed on. And as Thomas Edison was organizing the mother's stuff, from her drawer, deep inside, he found a letter. So when he opened up, it was a letter that he brought when he was in elementary school in the first grade. Ah, I wasn't a genius. I was the one who was having a learning disability. But starting from the time that I began to see myself as a genius, I was truly able to become genius.
Yeah.
Right now, many people are in difficulties economically and socially because of pandemic. Now, I really want to tell the audience, it's all about your mindset. With your weak mindset, or I would say negative mindset, if you see the situation and just accept it the way you see and say that it's difficult, I can't do it, I am poor, I am suffering. Yes, in your eyes it may be true, but that's how you are going to be. However, if you change your mindset, just kidogo to, yes, that is the only Kiswahili word that I know. Yes, just change the mindset, just kidogo to.
Yeah.
The positive aspect of it. Right now is difficult, but if I search for the way, there is always the way. Let me search for the way. don't sit down, search for the way. Then God, he has truly created the way inside the water. When Moses and the children of Israel came to the water, they didn't know how to cross that Red Sea.
Yeah.
However, when he put that cane into the water, there was a way under the water. In the same way, right now, many viewers, many audience, many people in Kenya, in the whole world, they have this and that kind of troubles. But don't just speak the way you see it. All right, I was taught from KTN to change my mindset. Just and search for the way, and believe that there is a way in the water. You can't see the way right now. You only see the water, but inside there's a way. Then with that changed mindset, if you change your view a little bit more and step forward, then you start finding the way. So all he did was just to change the way he looked at himself. From a learning disability, from a person who is a genius.
Yeah.
That's how powerful the change of the mindset is.
So, you see, for the viewers, and the reason I wanted you to share the story is especially the one for Thomas Edison. So anytime you get to your house and you switch on your bulb, you need to remember the person who invented it had been cancelled by his teachers, the ones who should have actually been the ones at the forefront to help him, to nurture him, to work with him, but they're the ones who cancelled him first. But then thank God for a mother who listens, and she changed her son's name, so to speak, and the son was actually an inventor. There's an invention inside of him, you know. So it's like you said, it's not an easy thing to do, but I like that you gave that example, because it's the bulbs it's a global thing. The bulbs are not just in Korea or America. We all use them. So anytime you switch on your bulb, then you remember, yes, Thomas Edison wasn't even a genius, but he was a genius because he believed in it himself. And that's what mindset is about.
Yes, as your mindset, as you continuously receive this mindset training, now, of course, like I said in the beginning, you want change like immediately, like changing the battery, the camera, or things like that. Turn on the light and you have the light right away. It's not like that. But when you continuously have this kind of mindset training, now later on, the way they look at things start to change. Yes, and then this seems only impossible, but you feel like, no. If we think about it in this perspective, it's possible. Right now, I am so difficult and my business is down.
Yeah.
But if you look at it from this perspective, this can also be a positive. Now your thought, the way you are thinking, the way you are using your heart and using your eyes, using your ears and using your mouth, start to change. And now this applies not in only your economical situation, not only in your family, in human relationship, in the society, and in all over of our life.
And it changes relationships as well. Because that change of perception. So even if it looks like, and especially I introduced the show by saying it's a love month, and we're going to go there. But when say, for example, a couple thinks this is the end, but if they apply themselves to exactly what you have said, there has to be a way here. The key is to apply ourselves as opposed to giving up just because it looks dark, right?
Yes.
Yeah.